Okay, so now we will see the next 5 questions, that is from question number 51 to question number 55, and all the question related to the Google Professional Data Engineer exam. So let's read question number 51. Okay, you are training a spam classifier. Okay, spam classifier, we are training spam classifier model just to analyze whether the mail is a spam mail or it is not a spam mail. You notice that you are overfitting the training data. Okay, so we are overfitting the training data. Which 3 action can you take to resolve the problem? So basically we need to resolve this overfitting problem. So overfitting generally means model is working perfectly fine on the training data, and let's suppose it is giving 99% accuracy or 100% accuracy, but when it perform on the testing data, it is giving very less accuracy, maybe 10% accuracy, maybe 30% accuracy, because we overfit the training data, right? Okay, because we overfit the model on the training data. So what 3 action we will resolve? So we have 6 option and we need to choose 3 option. Okay, so if you closely look at all these options, you will notice, so all these options are contradictory to each other, get more training sample, reduce the number of training samples. So out of A and B there should be only one option: use larger set of data, use larger set of features, use smaller set of. So out of C and D there should be only one. So then increase regularization parameter, then decrease regularization. So out of E and F there should be one answer. Both E and F should not be both should not be the answer, right? Because both are contradictory. Similarly C and D should not be the answer because both are contradictory. A and B both should not be the answer, only one could be the answer, right? So let's look. Okay, okay, get more training example. So that is perfectly okay, because when we have the overfitting issue, we generally took incorporate more and more data, so that model get learn about all the training data. So we will do get more training example. So this is perfectly okay. So definitely then if A is okay, then C is not okay, right? Reduce the number of training sample. If we reduce the number of training sample, let's suppose only we have 5 images or 5 emails, and on the 5 emails we are training the model. So model will learn everything from those 5 emails, and it will overfit the model. So we will not reduce the number of training example, but we will increase the number of training example. We will show the model a various type of emails. Okay, so out of A and B, A is the answer. Now look at the other options, C and D. Use a smaller set of features, use a larger set of features. Okay, they have mentioned do one thing, we have so many columns, let's suppose 1000 column or 2000 columns. So shall we have to use larger set of feature, or shall we have to use the smaller set of feature? So we always used to have to use the smaller set of feature. If we use every set of features, so it means we are overfitting the model. We are telling the model, okay, if this condition satisfy, if this condition satisfy, then it is a spam email. If this condition not specified, if this condition not specified, then it is not a spam email. So we basically use a smaller set of feature. So options out of C and D, option C is correct. If we go to the E and F, increase the regularization parameter and decrease the regularization parameter. So regularization is basically the concept under the hyperparameters. So when we train a model and we want to improve the accuracy, we will use this regularization concept. So when we have the overfit model, so what we will do is we will increase the regularization parameters. So out of E and F, so it should be E. So if we go to this link, so that is a Stack Overflow link. So if you look at this, so it has been mentioned that overfitting can be caused by have many causes. So let's put not enough data. So we if there is a not enough data, then the model will get overfit. So we need more and more data. So out of A and B, so A is okay, because we need more examples. Second thing is that too many features. So if the model is learned on the too many feature, then the model will get get overfit. So we need the use a smaller set of feature. Third thing is the regularization. So regularization is like a basic concept in the machine learning, which will avoid the risk of the overfitting. So we need to increase the regularization. Okay, so E and F, it is E. So if we reveal the answer, it is A D F. So A D F is wrong. The correct answer is A C E. So correct answer is A C E. So if you go to the discussion tab, everyone is saying A C E. So don't go with the answer which is provided on the website. Always like go with the answer which is provided by the most of the people in the discussion community, or better go with your guts feeling, or better try to search on on the Google using the official documentation. Okay, now question number 52. You are implementing the security best practice on your data pipeline. Okay, currently you are manually executing jobs as the project owner. Okay, so we have the there is a data pipeline. So right now we are manually executing, right? You want to automate these jobs by taking nightly batch down containing the information from the Google Cloud Storage and depositing the result into the Google BigQuery. Okay, so basically there is a one pipeline, and as of now we are executing the pipeline manually. And what pipeline is doing, it is reading some files from the Google Cloud Storage, and it is processing them and using the Data Pro cluster, and storing the result into the Google BigQuery. So concern is how would you want to automate these jobs, but because as of now we are manually executing those, so you want to automate these jobs. And during automation we want to make sure that there should be security. So how should you securely run the workload? Okay, so we have four options. One thing is that restrict the Google Cloud Storage bucket, so only you can see the files. So this is wrong, because if we restrict the Google Cloud Storage bucket so that only we can see the file, then only we can access the Google Cloud Storage bucket. But we don't want to run manually, we want the system to run. So basically we want the access to some service account. So option A is wrong. Second thing is that grant the project owner role to the service account and run the job with it. So this looks okay, because we want to automate these actions. So if we want to automate so that the user will not interfere, if user will not interfere, then the service account should be come into the scenario, right? And we need to give some access to the service account, and we need to give what kind of access. First we need to give the cloud storage access so that it can read the files. Second thing is that we need to give the write access of the Google BigQuery so that it can write the files. Third thing is that we need to give the Data Pro access so that it can run the pipelines, right? They told that grant the project owner role. So project owner is if we grant the project owner role to the service account, it will perfectly run okay, and it will run the job, it will read, because we give the very high level of role, so which have all the permission. So this will definitely work okay. But let's look at the other option. Use a service account with the ability to read the batch file. So service account is definitely required, fine, and give the service account the ability to read the batch file. Okay, it will read the batch file and it will write to the BigQuery. Okay, it will write to the BigQuery, but we give two access, right? Read the batch file and write to the BigQuery. But what about the data flow job execution access? So execution access is missing, but it still looks okay. Let's look at the option number D. Use a user account. So user account is totally wrong. So I will so A and D are wrong, right? Now we have option B and C. So to me, it looks like if we give the access as per B option, this will work. And if we give the access as per the C option, this will might work, because here it is not mentioned that we have to provide the execution of the data proc jobs, right? But when I look at this option, so it is giving a project owner role, generally which is not recommended to provide a high level of role. So, and because of that I thought of choosing the option number C. But if you reveal the answer, they told that the B is the correct answer, because in the option number C, execution of the jobs is missing. So if we just give the access to read the files and the write the files, so but how it will like execute the jobs? Execution is still missing, right? So that's why I think like they give the like B answer. But if we go to the discussion tab, so people say like it could be C, and some people say like it could be B as well. So now you have to decide whether you will go with the B or whether you will go with the C, because if I go with the B, then everything will work, but it will like it is not a Google recommended policy, that is to give the very high level of role, that is the honor roll. If I go with the C, then one access is missing here. Everything looks okay, but one statement is missing, that is the execution access of the jobs. So that's why I got confused whether I have to, A and D definitely like wrong. So but whether should I select A, B or C, still I am like confused. But I thought of selecting the C because like we are not giving a project owner role, because if you give the project owner role, so it might impact some other things, like it might delete the resources. So project owner role is like very crucial. So that's why I thought of selecting the C now, but it's up to you like whether you are going to select B or C. Okay, let's go to the question number 53. So in question number 53, it is saying you are using a Google BigQuery, okay, as a data warehouse, perfectly okay, because Google BigQuery is a data warehouse. Your user report that the following query is running very slow, okay. So one of the user is running one query and they report that the query is running very slow, okay. No matter when they run the query, okay, it doesn't matter when they run the query, whether it is running in the morning, evening, afternoon, the query is running slow, okay. And this is the query. So it is selecting the country, state, city from the dataset name and the project name and group by country, okay. So the query, I don't think like there is any issue with the query. So query looks okay, because we are not like doing star operation, we are selecting only the required column, so that is perfectly okay. You check the query plan for the query and see the following output in the read section of the stage 1. What is the most likely of the cause of the delay of the query? Okay, so this is the read section. So the purple color shows that it is like taking so much time in the reading of the database. So that's why the query is slow. But what could be the cause? So select is not the cause, selecting the column is not the cause, from is not the issue here. I think group by is the issue here, group by country, right? Because I don't think like other could be the issues, right? So some issue might be the group by problem. So let's look at the option. Users are running too many concurrent queries in the system. No, totally wrong, it is not mentioned. The my project table has too many partitions. No, it is totally wrong, it has not mentioned it has partitions. Either the state of the, if it has too many partitions, then it should be like my table dot star, then should be delimiter here, like either the state or the city column, either the state or the city column have too many null values. No, whether they have too many null values or not, it doesn't matter, right? Because we are selecting these. Now fourth option is most rows in this table have some value in the country column causing data skew. Yes, that could be the reason, because till this point query looks okay, right? It has not impact. But when we perform the group by operation, so what group by will do is like it will like make a group of the similar values. But if our data is skew, right, so we have like most rows in the table have the same value in the country column. So let's suppose there is a country name called India. So for India we have, let's suppose 1 lakh rows. So it will try to group all the rows, and similarly for the other other country, like let's suppose like USA or UK. So it has so many rows, so it will try to read all the rows, then it will make a group, right? So have the same value in the country column. So that could be like the root cause. And if we look at this official documentation, in the official documentation, like it has been mentioned that if the data is skew, then the query will be like take much longer. So, and even if we read all the option like A, B, C, we can easily reject. So only one option left, that is the D. So here they have mentioned A is wrong. If we go to the discussion tab, most of the people say D answer. So the correct answer is D. Okay, question number 54. Did we cover all question till now? Yes. So question number 54. Okay. Your globally distributed auction application allow user to bid on items. Okay, so we have one application on where like a user are putting their bids. Occasionally user places identical bids at nearly identical times. Okay, and different application server process these bids. Okay, each bid event contains the item amount. Okay, so when people are just putting the bid on one application, and when they put the bid, they put the item, okay, on which item they are doing the bid, they put the amount, okay, for which amount like we are putting the bid, and the user which they are, who is putting the bid, and the timestamp, at what timestamp they they apply for the bid, right? So but here it is when occasionally user place identical bids at nearly identical times, and different application server process those bids. So it could be the thing that like the two user might be place the bid at the same time, but like it could be thing that like the let's suppose there are two users, user A and user B. User A also bid at the same time, user B also do the bid at the same time, but user A request go to the one server, and the user B request go to the another server, but one server is very fast, another server is very slow. So what will happen? The server which is fast, their bid will process earlier, right? You want to collate these bid events in a single location in real time. Okay, what should you do? So they are putting some bids. We want to collect all this information in a real time. So what should you do? Create a file on a shared file, and have the application server write all the bids events to the file. So approach the file to the Apache Hadoop to identify which user bid first. So no, this is not recommended. This is not always for the real time. We will never use the file system. They told that we have to record in a real time. So for the real time we never use the file system, we always use the PubSub. So we need to find the option where the PubSub is mentioned. Have each application server write the bid event to the cloud PubSub as they occur. So this is definitely okay. Push the events from cloud PubSub to the custom endpoints that writes the bid event information into the cloud SQL. So that looks perfectly okay. So because we have to record the bids in the real time, so we need to use some the cloud PubSub. So in the option number A, they are writing the file into the some file. So that is wrong. Option A is totally wrong. So cloud PubSub, okay. So they told, okay, we will write the bids into the cloud PubSub, and then we will push into the cloud SQL. So that looks okay. But let's look at the other option. Set up a MySQL database for each application server to write bids events info. Okay. Periodically queries each of the distributed MySQL database. No, this is not okay, because we need the real time. So if we write the database directly into the MySQL, it is not the real time. So option C is also wrong. So till now we have option B correct, but let's look at the option number D. Have each application server write the bid events to the Google Cloud PubSub. That is okay. Use a pull subscription to pull the bid events using Google Cloud Data Flow. Okay, that is perfectly okay. Give the bid for each item to the user in the bid event that is processed first. Okay, give the bid for each item to the user in the bid event that is processed first. So they told that, okay, do one thing. Till this point it is okay, right? Till this point there is no issue, because we are just writing into the Google Cloud PubSub, and we are pulling all the messages using the cloud data flow. So that is okay. But here it is mentioned, we will allocate the particular item to that user whose request processed first. it doesn't matter the user bid like let's suppose I am the user. There are two users, user A and user B. User A put the bid at 10 o'clock, user B put the bid at 10:05. So ideally my bid will be processed. Ideally like I should get the particular item, but here it is mentioned that let's suppose the user who placed the request at 10:05 and their request get processed because of the server, because the different application server process those bids, right? And their server is running fast and their server process the request first. So it means like the user who placed the bid at 10:05 they will get the particular item, but I will not get the item. So that is totally wrong. Ideally the person who placed the bid first, he should get the particular item, but here it is mentioned give the bid for each item to the user in the bid event that is processed first. So no, we will not do this, but we will do this whoever plays the bid first. That's why we have the timestamp. So option number B looks okay. So they told option number 6, option C is wrong to me. If we go to the discussion tab, so most of the people say option number B. Okay, so B is the answer, B is the answer, B for the real time. So some people say D as well, but I will go with the option number B, because for the option number B so we have so many upvotes. Okay, now look at the question number 55. Your organization has been collecting and analyzing data in the Google BigQuery for 6 months. Okay, the majority of the data analyzed is placed in a time partition table named events partition. Okay, so our organization is collecting the data and analyzing the data, and for all this we are using the Google BigQuery, and we are analyzing or collecting the data for the 6 months, and we are storing into the time partition table, right? And the table name is event partition. Okay, to reduce the cost of the query, your organization created a view called events. Okay, so to reduce the cost of the query, what we will do is we will create some views, and which queries only the last 14 days of data. Okay, so we have created a view which under that particular view one query get executed, and that query only run on the last 14 days of data. Okay, the view is described in a legacy SQL. The view is described in a legacy SQL. Okay, next month existing application will be connecting to BigQuery. So we have one more application, there is existing application, so that will connect to the BigQuery to read some events via some connection, ODBC connection. You need to ensure that the application can connect. Which two options should you take? So we need to select two options, and so everything I think the question is understandable, right? We are collecting some data, we are analyzing the data using Google BigQuery, we are storing the data into the time partition table, but to save the cost we created some view, and what view is doing view is querying on the last 14 days of data, and view is described in legacy SQL. Okay, and what will happen, there is an existing application that will trying to connect to the BigQuery via the ODBC connection. You need to ensure that the this application will get connected. So what should you take? So we need to select two options. Create a new view over events using standard SQL. So basically here we are using the Google BigQuery. So in the Google BigQuery we always use this standard SQL rather than the legacy SQL. Here it is mentioned the view is described in the legacy SQL. So this looks okay to me, because I create a new view over events using standard SQL. Okay, create a new partition table. Why we need to create a new partition table? The data is already in the time partition tables, right? So option B we can easily reject. Create a new view over event partition using standard SQL. So okay, that is looks okay. One minute. Here it is mentioned create a view over events. Here it is mentioned create a view over events partition, and our table name is events partitioned. Okay, so C looks okay, and we are using the standard SQL. Okay, create a service account for the ODBC connection to use for authentication. That is perfectly okay. If we want some application to get connected to our BigQuery, so we need the service account. So we need to create a service account. Create a Google BigQuery IAM role for the ODBC connection and shared events. So this doesn't look okay to me. So till now we have like A, C, D, but C and D looks like more correct to me. Let's look. Yeah, so most of the people say option number C and D. Why? Because here it is mentioned legacy SQL, so it's clear because BigQuery use the standard SQL, so we need to use the standard SQL. Okay, here it is mentioned that okay, create a view over events, and here it is mentioned create a view over events partition table, and we have the events partition table. So out of A and C, we will use the C. So option A rejected, option B already rejected because there is no need to create a partition table. Now we need to connect some application. If we need to connect some application, we need the service account. So the service account is mentioned in the option number D. Option number D is correct. So we will go with the option C and D. Yeah, that's all. That's the end of the video. So if you think like I provide some wrong answer, or like the answer should be some other option, like you can suggest me and I will correct myself as well. And but try to give some like justification or some link of the official documentation.